Hello, everyone who is joining our live stream. I am Jen from English with Jen, back for another news story. Normally, Mike would be with me. I will explain a bit when we perhaps have some people join. Let me put in my handle here just so that you can find me. If you would like to find me on YouTube, you can find me here at English with Jen 123. And I teach conversation English. I like to have one live stream a week where I add people to come and chat with me. Once a month, I like to do a live stream with Mike, who can't join us today, about a news event. Other than that, I do weekly live streams every Wednesday. I have a really nice one coming up tomorrow. I was on safari and I want to take you on safari with me. So so I'd love for you to be able to join every week. I have a new topic. We cover idioms, vocabulary, phrasal verbs, conversation words, conversation questions, and lots of different information. And like I said, every week it's a new topic. So you get to learn a lot of different stuff, and it's in a very compact, well-organized manner. Hi, Yuki, darling. Hello. Thank you for your patience, folks. I am unfortunately alone today. Mike had some other things that he had to do, and so I quickly put together something for us. And so, yes, it's a news article, a news event. We're talking about news. And then I realized that the article that I found, it was one of these very quick chat GPT researches, give me 5 top current events. And it gave me something. I planned our lesson in 20 minutes. And then I looked for it to find more information. It happens to be from last year. So it's not so current, but no worries, no matter. I have phrasal verbs, idioms, questions for you, a listening part to this lesson. So I'm here, and I'm happy that at least some of you could make it. And again, I apologize for the delay. Excuse me for the unprofessionalism. Yeah, that's not my style. So anyway, this is my handle. If you have not already followed me, if you good, solid English speaking community, please follow this account and show up and become a member and let us get to know you. So I'm going to just start. Okay, so this is kind of, hey, Alessio, dear, my apologies for the delay. Mike won't be joining me today. He had something that came up that was very urgent. And so I quickly put together a lesson for us. Yes. Anyway, so here we are with a current event that happened last bank robbery. So I'm sure there will be other bank robberies. We'll have useful vocabulary, idioms. Hello, Aizo-san. Hi, dear. Okay. And so we'll have lots of useful information. So when there's another bank robbery, you'll definitely be able to talk about it. So I'm going to pull up our first slide for today to kind of prepare us for the story with this robbery. And I hope everybody knows the word robbery. A person who is, okay, robbery is when somebody steals something, and the person who steals is a robber. So that we're all on the same page. Okay, here is our first slide with vocabulary related to this. And yeah, let me find where that starts. I have to get rid of my other stuff. So there we go. All right. So we have number 1, thieves, 2, suspect, 3, security measures, 4, authorities, and 5, vocabulary. Please give me a quick heads up if you can see me. Again, I have my face cut off, so I don't know if I'm positioned here okay or not. So yes, why 5 vocabulary? Oh, yeah, I really planned this in like 15 minutes. I kid you not. I've never planned such a fast lesson in my life. Vocabulary is strange. Yeah, so I don't really know why vocabulary is in here, but that will be an easy one for everyone. Let me get rid of this banner that's going across the screen here, and let's go through our definitions. Anyway, so we have the people who are in charge of maintaining order, government officials. We have B, the safety steps or actions taken to protect something. C, a person who is believed to have committed a crime but has not been proven guilty. D, people who steal things. E, a collection of words used in a language or subject. Guess which one that one is? Anyway, okay, so what do we have for number one? For thieves, okay? Which definition works best with thieves? D, we'll go through these very quickly too. Thank you, Alessio. So thieves, people who steal things. So another word for a robber is a thief. And so the singular version of thieves, that's many, is thief. Why is changing it? Let me just double check what I wanted to write here. Okay, anyway, thief. Or maybe it's like this. No, I'm messing it up. Thief. So the singular version of thieves is thief. And a robber, one robber, two robbers. So here we go. Number two then, suspect. What can you tell me for suspect? Suspect, which works best? Number one was thieves, D. Number two, and I'm going to get my notes up so that I can see and run through these quickly with you. A suspect. So we often say, let me make sure that I'm not going to give the answer away by giving an example. C, exactly. Alessio, do you have this word somehow in Spanish as in Italian as well? So a suspect is a person who is believed to have committed a crime, but who has not been proven guilty. So yeah, a person who is thought to have committed a crime. He is a suspect in this crime. It doesn't mean that he is the person who did it, but he's someone who they have a lot of fingers pointing in that direction. All right. So 3, security measures. Sospetto. Yes. Okay. So they're kind of, I thought maybe somehow there's some sort of link. Okay. Thank you for sharing. So security measures. What do we have for that? Number 3. Number 1 was D, 2 was C, 3 security measures is, what can you say? Security measures. Sospetto. 3 is B, and probably that is correct. The safety steps or actions taken to protect something. So security measures. And number 4, thank you, Alessia, for that one. And number 4, authorities. What can we say for that? What have we got for 4? Just to recap, 1 is D, 2 is C, 3 is B, 4 is with authorities. A. Yes. The people in charge of maintaining order, such as police or government officials. Those are the authorities. I don't know most of those. Oh, okay, Yuki. Well, good then. So this is good when you're talking about crimes. You have thieves, you have suspects. You need to talk about the security measures, what goes in place to make sure that something is safe. The authorities, exactly. A would be police, perhaps the FBI, a governmental official, and last but not least, which was kind of a strange one on there, I don't know why it's there, vocabulary. A collection of words used in a language or subject. I don't know. That's okay. Anyway, I didn't have time to proof any of this, so there might be more of this. So our news story here that is not new news, because this happened in Los Angeles last year. But whatever, we're learning new words. I will have some idioms that are pretty fun as well. But here's a little story that explains what happened. And then I have some follow-up questions for you to go along with it. So last night, a group of thieves broke into a bank in downtown Los Angeles. The criminals managed to make off with $30 million in cash. Local authorities are currently investigating the crime, but no suspects have been identified. Police say the security measures, you forgot, oh, I thought vocabulary. I'll read this and then we'll go back. Sorry. Local authorities are currently investigating the crime, but no suspects have been identified. Police say the security measures in the bank were not strong enough. Residents are now worried about future robberies. And I didn't go through the last one, so I went through it kind of quickly because it was vocabulary. It was a mistake. Vocabulary was a mistake on my side. I'll go back. Let's do it. Hold on to show you. I just literally threw this together in 15 minutes. So the last one, vocabulary, I wouldn't put that normally on here, but for some reason, I just threw some words together trying to rush, but a collection of words, used in a language or subject. So sorry about that. Okay, so our story. I'll read it again right quickly. Maybe you could let me know, just from having heard it the first time, how much of the story did you understand? Did you understand the words now that we went through them? Was it easy to understand? Can you give me a percentage? 0%, you did not understand at all. 100%, woohoo, you understood every connection here today too. Anyway, it is what it is. So how much of the story did you understand? I will go ahead. So 95%, very cool. Okay. Yuki, curious about you because you said that 50%. Okay, well then let's read it again and maybe I'll go through it sort of a little bit slower. Okay. So last night, a group of thieves broke into a bank in Los Angeles. The criminals managed to make off with $30 million in cash. Local authorities are currently investigating the crime, but no identified. Police say the security measures in the bank were not strong enough. Residents are now worried about future robberies. What do you think? Yuki's a little bit better now. And questions to pose to you. So what happened in our robbery? What happened? Or actually, let's make it a little bit less sort of general and make it a little bit more specific. How much money was stolen? How much money would you say was stolen? A lot of money. But can you give me a number? Do you remember which number it was that got stolen? All right, I think I will help you out. It was $30 million. Exactly, Alessio. $30 million in cash. So they did, yes, exactly, Yuki. So 30 million, exactly, guys. All right. So are the suspects caught? Did they get caught? The suspects, do they know who the suspects are? Yes or no? Have the suspects been identified? So if you identify something, then you say this is something. Not at all. Exactly. So none of the suspects have been identified. Exactly. Super. Okay. And why are the residents? And so the residents are the people who live in that area. Why are the residents worried about? What are they worried about? What are the residents in the area now that there has been a bank robbery? Hello to you. Now that there has been a bank robbery, what are they worried about? Hi, Atoko. I didn't know the time change. I didn't mean to, sweetie. There shouldn't have been a time change, but I had to go live a little bit later. Mike couldn't make it, and so it was a very last minute thing. And so I had to plan this lesson very, very quickly. So my delay, my apologies, but here we are. About future robberies, exactly. They're worried about robbery. Exactly. They're worried about future robberies. They're worried about robberies. Super. Alessio, 110 points for you. Okay. So I have a little poll here for us now. I've never planned a lesson so fast in my life. Seriously, maybe I should be under pressure more often and then I wouldn't spend so much time. Okay, so here we go. Who do you think is behind the heist? Now, heist is a good vocabulary word that we are going to have in a minute. It's a robbery, especially one that's planned in detail. And in fact, maybe a lot of you know this because Netflix had a really big series, I think called The Money Heist. Different languages, but they took a lot of time. This group of Spanish people took a lot of time to plan a big robbery heist. Exactly. So a heist is when robbers get together and they plan this big elaborate thing like Ocean's 11 and all these oceans, blah, 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 whatever number. They sit down, they plan, and then they try to rob people. So it's a premeditated robbery where there's a lot of stuff. So who do you think is behind the heist? So who do you think is behind the robbery? Hitoko, we read a story about a robbery that happened in LA. This is actually not a current event. In my 15 minutes of planning, I asked ChatGPT to give me the top 5 headlines. And this was one of them a year ago. So head of the thieves, it's not the head of the thieves, the group of thieves, it's just they plan a heist, they plan this to take something. It's the planning of it. So if somebody breaks into a museum, they don't just break into a museum, they sit down, they get people together, they watch the guards, they make sure that, they see when things are open, when things are closed, where the security cameras are. So it's all of this. They plan a big event in a way to a robbing event. I hope that helps. So who do you think is behind this? A former bank employee with a high skilled gang. Okay. So we have a highly skilled gang, a former bank employee, a group of amateur thieves who got lucky, or an inside job. Now, this is kind of a cool term. When there's a crime that happens within a company, it's called an inside job. So if somebody who works at the bank is the person who actually stole the money, it's an inside job. Yeah. So any other opinions that you think about this? Who took the $30 million last year in LA? What can you tell me? Otherwise, we will boogie on to our next question. And tomorrow, I'm super, super excited about our live stream. I'm putting together all of my videos and pictures from the different safaris we went on. We went on so many different game drives. That's what you do. You go in the morning, you go in the afternoon. And so I've gotten all of the photos that I think are interesting for people, and I will prepare a lesson based on that. So I hope you can join tomorrow at our normal time at 3 p.m. Central European time. Oh, I didn't know an inside job. Yeah, an inside job. And I think there's even a movie, an ex-worker. Ooh, yeah, I like that, Yuki. You're adding an extra one to it. Inside job is popular. Yeah, because you know everything, right? It makes it easier somehow. Okay, not that I know. I'm not a bank robber or a robber. So, okay, moving on to our next thing. So let's see. So have you, okay, here. All right. Another one. So in this situation, would you rather be the detective solving the case, a journalist covering the story? And we often use journalist covering. Journalists cover stories. That means they go in, they investigate, they write their story, and they tell us about it. They cover it. So not like cover in like this, but cover as in like tell everybody about it. A witness who saw the robbery, a mastermind planning the next big heist. And so, Yuki, earlier you said the head of the thief, so this would be the mastermind behind the robbery. So former is ex-employee and inside job is still working there, right? Yeah, I guess that probably makes sense. I wonder if it would still be considered an inside job if you had recently left the company because you still know a lot of information. That's a good question. I'm not quite sure how to answer that, to be quite honest. So in this whole scenario with a bank robbery, would you rather be a detective solving the case? Would you rather be the journalist? Would you rather be a witness who saw the whole thing happen and to be able, or as Yuki says, the mastermind is the head. Yes, exactly. Mastermind is the head. Or would you rather be a mastermind planning the next big heist? So who would you like to be in this scenario? It's just a fun sort of little question to go along with this. What can you tell me? I think I would like to be the journalist or the detective. I don't think I'm clever enough to be the mastermind. I think I could get away with a lot, but not so much. And not, yeah, I don't know. So what do you think? Would you rather be a detective or a journalist or a witness? And a witness is the person who saw the robbery. So they're the ones who have to tell the detectives, the person was this tall, they had this kind of skin complexion, this color hair, or different things like that. So the details of who did it, which we all know is sometimes very skewed. So it means that it's not like really concrete because people remember things sometimes incorrectly. So it's a little difficult sometimes. So detective, we have a lot of detectives here. Okay, that's fine. I can relate very well to that. So my next question to you is this: a journalist covering this. Let me get rid of this. And my question is this: if you were the detective, a lot of you have said you'd like to be the detective on the scene, what would you ask the bank manager? So as the detective, what should you be asking the bank manager? What are important questions to be covered? And maybe I can type this in here. What should you as a detective ask the bank manager? Okay, so that's our question. What do you think? So lots of questions to ask him. I don't want to, I have a lot in my head right now, but I don't want to take things away. First of all, I will ask about the camera recordings. Okay, so to find all of the different camera recordings. Exactly. So get those. What else would you ask? I think I would ask who was working that day, something like that. Maybe where he was, where the different people were at the time that the incident happened. Bank employee details, important, right? Sort of a background check to see how long the people have been there. Were there any complaints? Was there anything unusual? So something like that. Maybe you would also ask the bank manager, what kind of unusual things have happened recently? Have you noticed suspicious? I'll write this word. This is a good word. Suspicious. Suspicious is when you don't trust something. You're suspicious of it. So suspicious. If you've noticed any sort of suspicious activity or people around the bank, those could be different things that one asks. Lots of things, I think. Yeah. And maybe if there's something with the security, have they had issues with security recently? And so on. Okay. Let's move on to some new words. Some of these, one of these we've already had, so that will be pretty easy. And have you noticed suspicious attitude today? So maybe suspicious activity or people acting suspiciously. You can turn it into an adverb, acting suspiciously. Record of the electronic entrance, absolutely. Okay, here are our next vocab words. And one of them we've already had, so it will be a nice little review. I think that it's here. No, here? Yes. Okay, here we go. So we have heist, execute, which two meanings. You might already know one meaning, but execute. 3, cash holdings. 4, break-in. Okay. And the definitions that go with this: a large amount of physical money stored somewhere. B, a robbery, especially one planned in detail. C, to carry out a plan successfully. And D, entering a place illegally to steal something. Which one works best with heist? So number 1B, exactly what we learned. A robbery, especially one planned in detail. And 2, to execute. Exactly. Number 1 is B, and number 2, to execute. What can you tell me? To execute. And there are different meanings for this, but this is one of the other ones. So 2C, to carry out a plan successfully. I wonder if you have this in Italian as well, because execute, you can also have to kill something is to execute it. So like in the United States, when they're in some states, they still kill people, they execute people for crimes. But this is also another meaning is to carry out a plan successfully. He executed the project well. He did it successfully. He executed the robbery with ease, meaning it was very easy for him to carry out his plan and to do it, to make it happen. Number 3, cash holdings. What can you tell me for number 3? What works best with that? Number 3, cash holdings. We had 1 was B, 2 is C, and 3 is A, large amounts of physical money stored somewhere. So execute. So execute, was C, to carry out a plan successfully. Executor is the person who does something. So often you have the executor is the person who kills someone. In this case, the executor could be the one who carries out the plan. That's the person. And so 3, cash holdings, exactly. In a bank robbery, they're looking for lots of cash, maybe gold, I don't know, but that's what that is. And last but not least, 4, break-in, entering a place illegally to steal something. So you can have a break-in, you can have a robbery. Lots of different ways to actually say to enter someone's environment and take something from them. All right. Heading on to our next point here. So let's see. I think it's just a question. Have you ever heard of a famous heist before? What happened? Can you tell me about any other famous heist? Yes, exactly. It was so. Hold on. Let me take a look real quick. With Aizo-san, which you're answering exactly. I'm not sure. You popped out for a second, I think. Let me see. I think that you were. Oh, nope. That one. A large amount of money was number 3, cash holdings. Number 4, last but not least, was D, entering a break-in is entering a place illegally to steal something. All right, so my question to you is, have you ever heard about any famous heist? There have been so many famous heists in history. I rewinded my phone and listened to the story, watching live on PC. Now I can understand what the lesson is about. Oh, I'm so sorry, sweetie. I'm sorry. But thank you. I didn't know you could do that. That's wild. Okay. And welcome back. So, yes. So we're talking about robberies. We're talking about a robbery. This should be a current event. ChatGPT told me that this just happened. And then I Googled some more and found out this was last year. But, I don't know. So we're here. We're doing this. And it's useful because there will be other robberies in the future, I am sure, unfortunately. But anyway, there was a great train robbery in 1963 in the United Kingdom. Robbers broke into my house 10 years ago. Alessio, I'm so sorry. Did they find anything or did you get lucky? Oh, that's so scary. People have tried to break into Peter's home twice. But fortunately, knocking on wood, everybody heard it. Not since I've lived here. That's a very scary thing. I'm sorry that happened to you. The great train robbery in 1963 in the United Kingdom. So here's the story. Yuki, you don't know any? Now you're going to know a couple. So though not a traditional bank heist, this infamous, remember, I think we've learned this word before. If something is famous for a negative reason, it is infamous. INFAMOUS, infamous. Oh, I think yes, okay, good. It didn't mix it up. So this is an infamous situation. Let me get rid of this. Hold on. Okay, so infamous. This infamous robbery involved a well-planned attack on a Royal Mail train carrying millions of pounds. A group of 15 robbers executed the heist and made off million pounds, which in today's term, because remember this was 1963, is 53 million pounds in today's money. Most of the robbers were caught, but some of the money was never recovered. So it's out there somewhere. They stole cameras, laptop, and valuable little stuff. My apologies. I'm so sorry to hear that. Famous for negative reasons. Exactly is infamous. Okay, here's a diamond heist. The Antwerp probably in English. Antwerp diamond heist in 2003 in Belgium. While not a traditional bank heist, this heist involved stealing $100 million worth of diamonds, gold, and other jewels from a safe deposit box at the Antwerp Diamond Center. The criminals bypassed, so they were able to cut through several layers of security, including a vault with multiple alarms, and managed to escape with some of their loot. Their loot is the things that they got from stealing. Only some of the stolen items were ever recovered. All right, one more. Let me see if I can find one more. Scary thing, I'm sorry. Right, exactly, Leslie, I'm so sorry. Okay, I think that we're good. But those are two heists that happened. I know that one happened in Germany, in Dresden. They had a museum that had beautiful old jewels, and there was a heist there, and they were able to get away. I'm not sure if they ever caught the people, but in Dresden, they had one maybe 4 years ago, not so long ago. But it was a very big heist, and they stole lots of jewelry. Let's move on to some idioms and phrasal verbs. And thank you everyone for coming today. I'm so sorry that this is very last minute and not, so yeah, please accept my apologies. Now we're finally here. We have number 1, on the run. Number 2, caught red-handed. 3, make off with. 4, behind bars. 5, get away with. 6, crack down on. A, a stronger action to stop crime. Take stronger action to stop crime. B, avoid punishment after doing something wrong. C, steal something and escape. D, hiding from the police. E, in prison. And F, caught while committing a crime. So, unfortunately, with a professional camera, I lost the pictures I had taken in my honeymoon. Oh no, they were pictures about New York and Mexico. And I'm so sorry. I'm glad you weren't home, and I take it they never found the thieves. I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that. Glico Amorianga is unsolved crime in Japan. I don't know that. Can you tell us about that, Yuki? Or maybe you can send me a link later on. Okay, we have 2 as F. Let's start with number 1 if you don't mind. But number 1, what have we got? You're right though, just so you know. Number 1, okay, here we go. Number 1 is B. Do we have any other guesses? On the run. What does on the run mean? Number 1, on the run. I can tell you it's not B. It's not B. Nice try, but it's not B. C. Okay, not C. It's not C. On the run. What can you tell me? One is D. Exactly. Thank you, Yuki. Appreciate it. Okay, so on the run is number 1, D, hiding from the police. To give you kind of a relatively actual situation, is that when Luigi, the young man who murdered the CEO in New York City, for several days when he did that, he went on the run. They could not find him for several days. So Luigi was on the run. And if you don't know who the person is, you would say the suspect is on. They're hidden from the police and they cannot be found. All right. Number 2, caught red-handed. Caught red-handed. What do you think that number 2 is? We had it actually answered earlier. We had 2 is F, and I'm sorry I'm drawing a blank. Terry, is that you, my dear? 2, F, exactly. So F is absolutely correct. Caught red-handed is F, and that is caught while committing the crime. Unfortunately, Alessio, for you in your situation, the thieves were not caught red-handed. So caught red-handed. And you can use this like, if my kids, like when they were younger, if they took a cookie and like they opened up the cupboard and they grabbed a cookie, and then like I walk in the room and they're caught red-handed. So anytime somebody gets caught in a situation where they don't want to get caught, they're caught red-handed. Exactly. Everyone who's answering F, you're absolutely correct. Moving on to number 3, to make off with. We had number 1 is D, 2 is F, and 3 is, okay, we've got a guess of A. Nice try. It's not A. So we can rule that one out. It's not D and it's not F. Number 3, to make off with. And we had that in our text too. Aha. So to make off with, what can you tell me? 3 is C, and that is correct. Here are my notes. 3 is C, to make off with. Steal something and escape. So you make off with, and they used a word in one of these things with a loot. That's the stolen goods is the loot, to make off with a loot. All right, so then moving on, behind bars. What does that mean? Number 1, D, 2, F, 3, C, and 4 is, what have we got for number 4? Behind bars. What can you tell me? Number 4, everybody's guessing E, and that is correct, exactly. So if you're behind bars, you're literally like this. You're behind bars. Let me out. So, yes, behind bars, you're in prison. 6, crack down on. So, last but not least, 6 is A, and to take stronger action to stop crime. We need to crack down on drugs, crack down on crime, crack down on driving drunk, these kinds of things. When you should take strong action, or when you take strong action uh, with a specific topic, then you crack down on it. All right, so what have I got for you now? Let me stop that for a sec. Okay, so why do you think that some people end up turning to crime, turning to a life of crime? Why do people sometimes get involved in crime? So what do you think that is? Is 5B. Let me take a look and see. Yes, exactly. Sorry, did I miss that one? Excuse me. Maybe I did. Pardon about that. Let me see. Hold on, let's go back so that everybody's on the same page. 5, to get away with. B, sorry, my apologies. Avoid punishment after doing something wrong. Exactly. So they got away with a crime. It was the perfect murder. They got away with a crime, meaning there was no punishment, nothing happened, and yeah. So as that. Sorry about that. All right. So question to you. Why do you think that some people become criminals? Why is that? Why do you think that that is? Because it's a hard situation in their life? Yeah, maybe they have no other option. They feel desperate. They feel like they don't have options to have a better life. Maybe, yes. Any other ideas? Do you think that some people are born with criminal energy? Do you think that? They don't find another way to solve financial problems, definitely. I think that's a situation as well. Maybe things are very corrupt, and that's just part of a society where it's kind of becomes normalized to steal. If everybody's doing it, you do it too. Sometimes things are very corrupt. That can be a situation. Yeah, okay. That was a question, a little curious to hear what you have to say. Thank you very much for answering. And going out with a poll question here today. Let's see, let me find my poll question for you. All right, oops, there we go. What should the thieves do next? Go into hiding. So they're on the run. They go into hiding. They hide away so they can't be found, or try to launder the money. If you launder the money, then that means that you try to use the money in another way so that it goes through the system and you get money back, so it's not marked anymore, because often money is marked, that's hidden in banks, and you can't spend it, otherwise you're going to get caught. But if you launder it in a casino or other means, I don't know, I'm not a thief, but then you can use the money freely or flee the country. If you flee, you run, you get out of something. Refugees flee the country. When there's a war, people try to get out, they flee the country. Or return the money and say, I'm sorry, apologize. Bad family upbringing could be too. All right, so what should the thieves do next? This is our last question for today. What do you think? Go into hiding, try to launder the money, flee the country, return the money, and apologize. Launder the money. I'm having problems pronouncing that. So, yeah, what could you tell me? Flee the country, all right? Get out of there, woohoo! But I guess you would need to go to a country where they couldn't bring you back. I think you need to be careful to which country you go to as the robbers, as the thieves. What can you tell me? Any other ideas? What do I think? I think going into hiding seems pretty passive. You've done this massive thing, and it's not like people are going to forget after a week. right? The detectives and the authorities are not going to forget after a week. So going into hiding seems kind of silly to me. Maybe flee the country. If you've planned a heist, you've planned probably how to get the items and also how to exit. So any other opinions here? I haven't seen anybody bringing the money back, right? Like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take this. I just wanted to try and see if I could do it. Yeah, no, yeah, not very realistic. Probably for me, I wouldn't have the know how to launder money. Return the money if possible, but if not, just flee the country. Okay. So, folks, I really sincerely appreciate you showing up. I appreciate Hitoko, my dear, taking the extra time to go back and check out and see what on earth we're talking about here. Thank you. I'm sorry that this was very fastly just put together in the most fast manner possible. I literally put this entire lesson from beginning to end together in 15 minutes. And just to give you an idea, usually it takes me about, I don't know, 8 hours, 10 hours to prepare our lessons. So yeah, I've never done this before. Maybe I need to be under pressure every week. Then I would have a lot more time on my hands. But thank you for hanging in there with me. And next month, I'm sure Mike will be back with me and we will have a proper current event. It's like a real one. And but similar style. I think this works nicely. And tomorrow I will go live, just as a reminder again, here on YouTube. Try to launder the money. I'm not smart enough for that. I would totally get caught. I'm too much of a coward to hide. I'm too coward to hide and live with this. Yeah, I don't know. It would haunt me. But I'm going to go live tomorrow. Have any of you actually ever been on safari? Have you ever been? Is it on your bucket list? No desire to do that, maybe. If you have been on safari, then if you want to join me tomorrow and explain about the things you saw and different things that you remember about different animals, then make sure you're showered and look good and ready to do that. I know myself, I wouldn't go live without makeup on. No way, not happening. So anyway, but I would love to have you participate. It would be wonderful whether you participate in the comments or come and join me live. I'm very excited to share our trip with you. We saw really cool things. We saw some very rare things and had very rare, exciting sightings. And so I want to share them with you. Thank you very much, Alessio. Appreciate it. And thank you very much, Toko. Hope to see you tomorrow. And I'm going live in 2 hours now on Iwa. Our topic is Earth. We're going to focus mostly on continents. I'm going to do a little bit of a different thing today because I didn't realize actually that I had done Earth in December. I've totally spaced. And so I had to come up with a new sort of thing to do. So instead of talking about Earth, we're talking about continents. And I won't do a story in that lesson, but I'm going to turn my helicopter ride into a story for us to shadow this week. So I'll keep you posted on everything. Lots going on here. I'm going to go spend 2 hours now with my daughter. She's here visiting me. I've not been able to see her in nearly 2 months. So yeah, see you later, I hope. Take care, guys. Bye. Bye. Thank you for joining.